Okay. Hi. Good afternoon. Okay, so many things are happening in the news. So today we will see the things that has happened in the last week. So India has signed comprehensive economic partnership deal with the Oman. Now here we have to understand two things. Why have we signed a free trade agreement with the Oman? Comprehensive economic partnership agreement is nothing but the expansion of your free trade agreement. So we have studied in the economy, or you might have studied in the economy, various types of the agreements. So if there are two countries, X country and the Y country, they make various types of the agreements between them to facilitate the free movement of the goods and services. At the first point of engagement will be the preferential trade agreement. In the preferential trade agreement, only taxes will be lowered on some amount of the goods. On rest of the goods, taxes would be still very high. So there would be some items on which you have lowered the tax. That we will call it as a positive list. Just giving the background. And then countries move towards the free trade agreement. In the free trade agreement, there would be certain items on which countries would not have lowered the tax. So that would be called as a negative list. So basically I am talking about the agreement or arrangement between the two countries, how they allow the markets for the other countries' goods and the services, right? So here you have the positive list, here you have the negative list. Now we have signed comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the country Oman. So here the amount of interaction or support between the two countries would be much more elaborate. Like for in this case, we are also talking about not just allowing the market for the goods and services, but we are also talking about the investment. We are also talking about the movement of the labor supply from India towards that country. So we are also talking about liberalization of the various forms of the norms. So when I say CECA, Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement or Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, basically it is a kind of holistic, very broad framework of arrangement between the two countries to facilitate the trade, right? So what will happen by facilitation of the trade? Basically, this is expansion of the market. Now what is happening with the India? Recently, you might have seen USA has increased the taxes on the Indian products. We have no free trade agreement with the USA. USA has imposed a new amount of the taxes on the India. So Indian labor intensive sectors are getting affected. But even though, however, in the last month, we have seen, but no class, socio and Andhra. Even in today's case scenario, we have seen though our exports are not severely worst affected, but however, we have seen USA has imposed the taxes. Now we are in the search of the new markets. For suppose, imagine I am selling my product to the Rakesh, but Rakesh is not allowing my products into the Rakesh country. Okay, imagine Rakesh is imposing new taxes. Now I have to find the new markets. I will go and I will ask Manoj, I will ask Anil, Anirudh. Okay, so can I sell my products in your country, in your state? Okay, so if yes, then Anirudh will say, okay, I will also export my products. Then you lower taxes in your country. This is the kind of deal we are searching because USA is imposing the new taxes. So we have made such a kind of deal with the UK. We have also signed a deal with the some 4 countries of the Europe free trade agreement, like Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and there is one more country. Okay, which country is that? There are 4 countries. We have signed with the 4 countries a free trade agreement in the Europe. Huh? Not Ireland. Maybe Denmark. We need to check. So we are searching new markets for our products. I need to put my laptop here. Iceland. Yes. So that's the reason we are trying to find the new markets. In the same way, here this is how. So what would be the next arrangement? What would be the next agreement after CEPA? What would be the next comprehensive economic agreement? It would be economic union. Sorry, it would be customs union and then economic union. Okay, this is how each country will try to improve the relationships between the other country. Okay, so currently this is the scenario. In the customs union, what we do is, for suppose now India and Oman has entered in the customs union, they will say we will have same kind of tariff structures with the other countries also. For suppose ASEAN as a whole is a kind of block, Southeast Asian countries. ASEAN is a 10 group of countries. Now, if they have to interact with any other country, they will have a common taxation system that is called the customs union. Later on, there would be economic union. In the economic union, the integration will be much more same. Like they would be having common fiscal policies. Okay, may not be common monetary policy. Maybe they can also maintain the common currency system like in the European Union. Okay, this would be the way of integration of the economies between the two countries. Now with the Oman, we have signed comprehensive economic partnership agreement. We are searching for the new market. Now, why is Oman important for us in terms of the economy? Like the first major point that should come to your mind is Oman is a part of OPEC plus country, not the OPEC nation. OPEC has 12 countries under it. What is OPEC? OPEC is a block. Whichever the oil producing countries are there, they will form the block that is called as a OPEC. Like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain. Okay, so that is a block of the 12 countries: Libya, Algeria, Nigeria, Angola, and the Venezuela and the Ecuador. This is a 12-member block. So basically, this is like a cartel formation. They'll all come together and they'll decide how much to be oil produced this year, what should be the price of this oil production, right? So if you are aware, when these countries came together and they have also reduced the oil production in the world, this has led to the oil crisis, 1973 oil crisis. Okay, whenever there was a Israel and Arab states war, this used to be scenario. They used to stop the production of the oil. So all over the world, they used to suffer. There was a scenario of the Gulf crisis. This is also called as energy crisis. So after this crisis only, the countries like India and other countries, they have tried to expand their energy basket. Now we are also not depending on just this thing. We are starting ethanol blending program. The reason is we don't want to just import the oil and dependent on these countries. We are also depending on the ethanol. We are also depending upon the renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy. We are trying to come up with a different forms of the energy production like methanol economy, right? So all these forms of energy we are trying to explore. So now if you see here, the two countries are missing. Can you say which countries are missing here in this Gulf region? What are those two countries? This country is most notorious. Which country is that? Iran and Iraq are there already. Which one? Which countries are these two countries? One is the country which we are discussing, Oman. This is the Oman. The bottom one is the Yemen. They are the one who are attacking the countries. Houthis. I told you. If this is the Suez Canal, ships moves from the Suez Canal, right? Right. This is the Suez Canal. From here, the ships move, and this is your Red Sea. And here, Houthis are attacking. Yesterday, in the previous session, we have also discussed about the seed countries. Here you have the Ethiopia, strategic location. There I have also discussed this thing. So Oman is here. Oman is considered to be a kind of neutral country with respect to the Pakistan. So here the important aspect is Oman is not part of the OPEC, but it is a part of OPEC plus. The countries which also has the oil, but it is not part of the OPEC, those groupings are called as the OPEC plus. So Oman has a significant amount of the oil and natural gas, and it is also sitting in a strategic area. This is also very strategic area. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Right? From here also oil supply happens. Then I have told you one important port of the Oman. What is that port? Yes, Duqm port. Okay. This is important for which corridor that we are building? In India's Middle East corridor. Okay. This is the very important port that is helpful for us to develop the Middle East corridor. This Middle East corridor was announced during which year? 2023 G20 summit. India announced this thing. So for the same reason, even Jordan is also very important for us. Okay. So this is the Dukin port, and then for here, this is the reason for the oil and natural gas, and also for the we have Indian diaspora there, and now see, we have also made an agreement with the Oman to facilitate movement of the Indians, easy movement of the Indians to work in the Oman. Okay, so India is a rich, populous country. We have huge population, so we want to export our human, not just goods and services. We also want to export our humans. So for this, other countries has to allow. So for the other countries to allow us, we have to make a deal with them. So now Oman has allowed GATS Mode 4 movement. Now, what is this GATS Mode 4 movement? Okay, I'm just taking you to that thing. See, we have a agreement, general agreement of trade in the services under the WTO. We all know, we all are aware what is WTO, World Trade Organization. This is the organization which facilitates free movement of the goods and services between the two countries, between the various countries, not just the two countries, all over the world. It wants to create a single country like system where every country is able to export the other items to the other country and also import the items from the other country, not just the goods and services, but also the movement of the people. Now here, very important, the aspect I'm talking about is there are 4 modes under general agreement on trade in the services. This is one of the agreement under the WTO. Each and every country who is part of the WTO have signed this thing. But to the extent which it has to be implemented, it depends upon the nation. So this is one of the agreement under the WTO. So am I clear? GATS is one of the agreement under the WTO. This is the most important agreement to facilitate trade in services. General agreement on trade in services, for trading in the services. Okay. So under this agreement, there are 4 modes: Mode 1, Mode 2, Mode 3, and the Mode 4. Mode 1 is that type of the service where you are sitting in India and providing service to the other country. No movement of the people is happening. For suppose you are sitting here and developing the website or Android application, something that you are doing. So there, from that, let's say, imagine Oman person is getting the website development from the Indian. So you are developing from here only, you are giving it. There is no movement of the people here. In the Mode 2, they came here. Now, for suppose they want to purchase something or they want to